A full house of political insiders this week because there is a lot to talk about. Joined as always by Democrat Brian Gaddie, back from vacation, Abdul-Hakim Shabazz from IndyPolitics.org, and joining us for the first time in a bit, Republican Joey Fox. Joey, welcome. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And good morning to everyone else. Let's start with what's happening here in Indy at the state capitol. I expected us to be talking more about the special session starting next week at the State House. It's still starting next week, technically, but lawmakers now are not coming back to work until July 25th. Abdul, why the delay there?
Well, from what I've been able to gather, and I'll be writing about this on Indy Politics later this weekend, is the fact that there is no consensus on the abortion issue. Obviously, when the governor originally called the special session, it was going to be to deal with the automatic taxpayer refund, which was also having some issues over on the Senate side of things. But now with the abortion issue, folks are trying to find a consensus of where is that Venn diagram. From what I've been able to tell, where's that spot? They can get a majority of the votes, and they're nowhere near there yet. Because you got to remind people, when we say things like pro-life and pro-choice, really what we're talking about is a sliding scale. And some lawmakers are no abortion ever. Some are, the mother's health, life is in danger. Some are rape or incest. So it's sort of a sliding scale. So they got to figure all that out before they get together, which they'll probably do on the 25th.
Joey, Republicans really are not playing their hand here. If they have a hand to play, the governor this week, of course, said there were no red lines for him right now, which some are interpreting to mean that he's open to just about anything. But at the same time, he also said he wants to look at what other states are doing, other states that had perhaps trigger laws taking effect, and see how that plays out. But really, it seems wide open as to what Republicans want to do right now.
Well, what I think you're going to see is a pro-life ending to this story. What I think you're seeing right now is what you want to see from elected officials, which is let's slow down for just a second. Let's gather a bunch of input. Let's think through this. Let's debate it, and let's come to a product at the end of the day. I actually am somewhat encouraged by this fact. And by the fact that the leadership in the House and Senate are taking a minute here, allowing the members of their caucus to talk to their constituents, and this is happening, of course, on the same, I'm sure, Brian, on the Democratic side, as all this input's going to be collated and put together into a piece of legislation here later in July or in August.
Brian, Democrats, of course, reiterated what they believe, and that is that abortion laws, as they are, should be left alone. They want Roe codified. Obviously, Roe is not going to be codified in any way, shape, matter, or form in Indiana. But what are Democrats thinking right now that you've got a few weeks to wait and see what exactly the proposal is going to be once lawmakers come back?
But right now, what Hoosier Democrats are going to do is we're going to get the state of Indiana and the citizens of our great state to understand and know that women's rights are under attack, and that Hoosiers do not want this state to be a 100% anti-abortion state. Now, when you have Republican politicians calling for no abortion rights for women under all circumstances, and that includes incest, rape, and even the life of the mother, that is a draconian and extreme position that is out of the mainstream of not just Hoosier politics, but American politics. And I would say to my friends on the other side, think very carefully before you pursue something that very extreme and that draconian, because Republican suburban women are watching. And when they get in that voting booth, they don't have to necessarily vote the same way their husbands vote. And a lot of them could very well vote Democrat based on this issue. In fact, my good friend Abdul has talked about the fact this could be the one issue that makes Indiana start to become more of a purpley state. So I would say to my Republican friends, think very carefully before you do something that could potentially make Indiana go from being a red state to potentially a purple, or maybe even a blue state at some point.
Well, and as Joey, you were going to say, I imagine, we don't know what that proposal is going to be yet.
Well, we don't, but I would also just say this: in none of the laws that are now currently in effect across the country is the life of the mother not included. These are in states that could be considered far more conservative than Indiana. I don't know of any serious person that would be leading that is advocating for a position that does not.
No, that's not true. There are some Republicans that are calling for that. There are some Republicans calling for that.
Brian, if we want to play the some Republicans game and we want to play extremes, it's your party that refuses to say whether they're okay with abortion up to the moment before birth. I don't think that's necessarily a fair depiction of every member of the Democratic Party, so I won't go there here. I'm simply saying that the life of the mother has not been something that has ever been under question in any of the states where this is currently taking place, and I'm very hopeful and confident that it won't be here.
But even rape and incest is extreme, Joey. I think you would know that.
All right. Abdul, again, there's a lot to debate here, obviously, as to how far Indiana goes. And I know Democrats, whether they're in Indiana or especially in states that are frankly going to be more competitive in November, this could be, or Democrats are hoping this will be the issue. The question is, if they even, as far as hold on to congressional majorities and maybe expand a majority a little bit in the Senate, is that going to be enough for Democrats to get their way on this issue?
Well, I think all issues right now, whether it's the abortion issue, whether it's inflation, whether it's the situation in Ukraine, all have that political bent to them. And so I think you take all three of those things and sort of the aggregate to find out what the true result is going to be come November. I do think the abortion issue has been, for my Republican friends, it's the dog who caught the car. Okay, you caught the car. Now what are you going to do with it? Because for the last 50 years, you've been sort of managing the pro-life banner. Now here's your chance to put up. And so we got to figure out exactly what it is that they're going to be doing. However, I do think, those Republican, suburban Republican women, like Brian had mentioned, who are probably going to be the ultimate game changers in this. Now, will it totally change the makeup of the legislature? Probably not. But some of those districts that are sort of in those donut county areas could make a difference.
Well, if they show up to vote, and Brian, it's hard to get people to turn out in a midterm, regardless of the issue. Even if you have this issue galvanizing voters, you've still got to get them to turn out.
Well, it's up to us Democrats to keep this issue in the forefront and to keep people excited and understanding that, hey, women's rights are under attack and that the Republicans are not the party for women. The Democratic Party is. And we just have to make that perfectly clear. I mean, the Republican Party is being led by extremists on their side that, quite frankly, do not respect women or the rights that women should have under law. And we make that perfectly clear as Democrats. We have a chance to win a lot of these races this fall. No doubt about it.
We will see. And we'll also see how much the testimony coming out of the January 6th committee in the House will affect the elections too. But let's talk about that testimony that happened this week, just from the sheer magnitude of the testimony. Cassidy Hutchinson, who was a top aide, maybe the top aide to Mark Meadows, at the time White House Chief of Staff, testified in what was termed a surprise hearing. It was scheduled very late, and she came forward and said a whole lot of things that have already been detailed in great detail. Joey, as a Republican, what did you think of the testimony, and what did you think of how that changes the narrative, if it does, about the run up to January 6th and the involvement of former President Trump and his inner circle?
But the testimony, the facts, everything that has been the most damaging to President Trump and the lies that he told about the 2020 election have all come from Republicans, including Bill Barr and now Cassidy Hutchinson. I'm certainly amenable to the let's move on conversation, but I think that has to come after laying out the record and making sure that this is available so we don't let this happen again. I'm not sure that this has any impact politically as we move forward, certainly electorally. On what happens, I think the nation's focus has moved on, but I do think, just from a pure, well, Joey, what do you think perspective, it just continues the fact that this is not liberal Democrats that are putting out stories about President Trump. These are all people that were with him in the room, or very close to him, and his senior aides in the room that have been the most damaging.
Brian, what does this mean for Democrats? Obviously, Cassidy Hutchinson laying out a lot of allegations, and a lot of it has been corroborated already. But at the same time, Joey says people have moved on, and we're in the middle of summer. A lot of people are on vacation right now, and they're also spending a lot of money on gas and food. At the same time, all of this is coming out.
I'm glad to see that Joey understands that Donald Trump he's not the early Elvis, in the 60s. He's more like the Elvis at the very end. He's He's a political has-been. And it's about time you Republicans stop following that has-been. There's no doubt about it that Cassidy Hutchinson really, and first of all, everything she said was under oath. These Secret Service agents are saying, "Oh no, what she said is not true." Well, why don't you say it under oath if you got the guts? Here you got a 25-year-old woman, very courageous, spelling out how our former president, twice impeached, can never forget to tell the Hoosiers and Americans that, twice impeached, and he lost the popular vote twice as well. He'll lose it a third time if he runs again, by the way. So I guess it'll be a hat trick. But the point is that she said this under oath. This is a man that behaved in a deplorable manner. He behaved like a petulant child, according to what was said in the Beast. He even tried to grab the steering wheel. He tried to choke one of his Secret Service agents. So it's just wow. I mean, if a Hollywood writer came up with a script like this, they would probably say he needed to see a psychiatrist. I mean, you couldn't make a movie like this. It's just amazing that this man was the president of the United States for 4 long years. To quote Gerald Ford, our long national nightmare is not over, because we have too many Republicans that won't face up to the fact that Donald Trump lied for several months, propagating the big lie. He lost. He couldn't deal with his loss, and it's just sad. So I'm glad Joey is waking up to the fact that Donald Trump is a has-been. Now you need to convince the rest of your fellow Republicans that, Joey. So start to work on that, my friend.
Well, go ahead, Joy. I'll let you respond to
that. Well, it's what I spend my days doing, is convincing fellow Republicans, and I begin with a phrase like that: "Dear fellow Republican." No, I think what's important is, we're doing this, let the committee do their work. We're going to get a record together that's all, to your point, Brian, that's all under oath of what happened and how this goes. I think that reasonable people, when you talk to them about elections, how they work and how they don't work, understand that these elections are safe. They're certainly not fraud free, but but these elections are safe. You can trust the results. These are your local neighbors that are working in Democrat and Republican, teams, right, that are purposefully adversarial to try and make sure that these are as fair as possible. And that we need to develop trust in that system. And the most easy way to do that for everyone is to volunteer in your next election, so that you can be in the room and you can be part of making sure that it's as secure as you want it to be.
That's maybe.
Are you sure you're Republican, Joey? You don't sound like the rest of them.
that may be a tough road to hoe, given that a lot of election workers faced threats, as we also know from January 6th testimony and testimony beyond that committee. But Abdul, any impact in Indiana politically for the 4 members of Congress who voted to overturn legitimate votes in Arizona and Pennsylvania, or in Greg Pence's case, only Pennsylvania, I believe. But Jim Banks, Jim Baird, Jackie Walorski, knowing that this was a lie and they still voted the way they did, any impact on them at all based on everything else that's come out in this committee, or are their districts drawn in such a way that it's ultimately not going to matter?
I think for Jim Banks, for Greg Pence, for Jim Baird, the districts are so Republican that it doesn't even matter. Even Jackie Walorski, which is not as Republican, it's still pretty much a safe district. So I think all 4 of them are fine. What I want to go back and just mention a couple of things. Number one, I think the testimony we saw this week by Mark Meadows' assistant basically shows why Kevin McCarthy made a mistake by not allowing more Trump supporters to be on that January 6th committee. At the very least, somebody who could offer, sort of a cross-examination, maybe sort of, offer up some different sort of testimony. Like, okay, well, Ms. So-and-so, you said blah, blah, what about XYZ? How done this? Is this hearsay? Blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily say it would change the outcome of the hearings, but at the very least, you don't have sort of the peanut gallery, yelling, screaming, and criticizing, when you would actually have had congressmen in the room. And by the way, Brian, your Elvis reference and Donald Trump just made me think of American Trilogy. I have to get that song out of my head now. Thank you very much.
Before we move on, I want to come back to the impact of this testimony, perhaps, on the Secretary of State's race here in Indiana. Abdul, Diego Morales, we've talked about his beliefs before, his history, but he was quoted a while back by the AP as calling the 2020 election a scam. He has since tried to walk that back, even though he continues to say, falsely, that there were irregularities in some states. Does this coming out hurt Diego at all, or are there going to be enough eyeballs on that race to really make a difference? Because Democrats think they have a chance. Again, they still have to overcome a libertarian candidate in that race too.
That Secretary of State's race is going to be interesting because, like I said, the January 6th committee testimony, I don't think it necessarily helps or hurts Diego per se, but definitely doesn't help. Diego's got some more pressing issues he has to deal with right now. First of which is making peace with the Holly Sullivan people, because Republicans on that Secretary of State's race, there are some really deep divisions right down there. A lot of them are personal, because they have animosity against the governor, animosity against Diego, his work record, animosity against Holly Sullivan. So they got a lot of issues they're going to have to work out. The January 6th committee is, I would say, right now the least of their problems.
How about those issues, Joey, on the Republican side? Jim Merritt last week said that he was solidly behind Diego Morales. And yet there seems to be that there's going to be some sort of division, one would think, there between the Morales side of the party, perhaps the Eric Holcomb wing of the party. And of course, Diego does have history with the Attorney General, his former boss in the Secretary of State's office, Todd Rokita.
So, I mean, these intra-party fights, right? These happen for all of us. When you go through these things, conventions are passionate places, and the goal coming out of them, and this is up to Diego, right, for him to lead now as the winner of the nomination, to try and bring folks together. The questions right now are political, and whether there are going to be individuals that show up to the ballot box that are voting for the majority of one political party and then are there saying, what I'm really here to vote for, though, is the Secretary of State's office. And that's going to be just a very, very limited number of people. Obviously, Brian's team is going to work to convince more and more of folks to vote that way. I don't think that that's realistic. I think the Republicans will win that Secretary of State's race and continue a good tradition, frankly, in that office in the long arc of secure elections, of making sure that Hoosiers can feel comfortable and confident in what's happening in Indiana, and making sure to have great relationships with our county clerks.
Brian, how do you get voters in Indiana excited to vote in a Secretary of State's race? As Joey said, when from your perspective, so much is on the line when it comes to the future of elections, since we know Diego Morales has talked about being in favor of more restrictions on voting, especially early voting.
Well, Diego Morales, no doubt, is a Trump acolyte. He was propagating the big lie, just like like many Republicans. I'm glad Joey is not a proponent of that big lie, and that's very, very good that he's not. But unfortunately, too many people in your party are, Joey. And we as Democrats need to point out the sleazy record of Diego Morales, whether it's spotty business dealings. He got fired by Todd Rokita. He just has a very sleazy business and political background. And we as Democrats have to bring that to the attention of Hoosier voters. And I know my good friend Joey was saying, oh, well, people don't vote for Secretary of State. Well, I think more and more Hoosiers, not just Hoosiers, but voters are beginning to understand that these down ballot races do in fact matter. And that's incumbent upon us as Democrats to make them aware of these races, like Secretary.
They have not done a great job helping them figure that out yet.
I think we have done a great job. We have an excellent candidate, Destiny Wells, who is a very good candidate. She's a veteran, she's an attorney, and no one will ever accuse her of having any ethical lapses like your candidate, Diego Morales. I'm trying to figure out a nickname for him. Should it be Diego Must Go or maybe Sleazy D? So, I mean, he has a very sleazy background, my friend.
Give me time to figure that out, Brian, because we do have to run. And maybe when Joey joins us again in a couple of weeks, we will have that nickname. We'll see. Brian Gaddie, Joey.
All right, I'm working on it.
Brian Gaddie, Joey Fox, Abdul-Hakim Shabazz, thank you so much. Have a great week, gentlemen.
Thanks. Take care, Ray.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.